Hello everybody. Today I've decided to compare two methods of getting depth maps from a single image. So monocular depth estimation. So I'm gonna compare LeRes, donc LeRes, L-E-R-E-S. I'm going to compare LeRes with MiDaS version 3, which is the current version as of November 2021. And I'm gonna use screenshots of movies featuring Jeff Goldblum. So I've got 5. So here they are. There's one. That's from the Fly. That's from Jurassic Park. That's from Vibes. That's an older one. That's from the Sentinel. And that's another from Vibes. So that's my 5 pictures I'm gonna work with. Okay, so here I have LeRes loaded in Google Colab. So let me. Okay, so I think there are instructions. So I think I'm just gonna do one at a time, one cell at a time. So, and if it takes too long, I'll just cut the video and then go back when it's done. And I think the first one takes a while, so I'll probably cut and be back when it's done. Okay, it's done, so I'm back. So this is done. So now I have to do clean output directory. So that's instantaneous. So upload images. Okay, so choose files. So those are going to be my 2D images. So I'm just going to do all 5 at the same time. Okay. LeRes, I gotta say, is very easy to use. Okay, so it's done. You can see that it's done when you get that check mark here, the green check mark. Then you can go to the next one. So here it's going to compute the depth maps for each image. Very simple. Okay, it doesn't take long. Okay, so it's done. So now it's gonna download the results in one zip file. Okay, so that's the zip file, and you don't need to check the video card. So you're done here. You got everything. So now let's go into. Let's do. I'll be back into the GIMP and see how they look like, or maybe I'll just look at one and then do the MiDaS and then go back That's pretty annoying. Kaspersky. And then go back. So I'll just look at one, do MiDaS, and then go back to GIMP to compare. Okay, so I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm in GIMP and I'm gonna load the depth maps. So open as layer, yeah, open as layers, that's fine because it's the same size as the input. Okay, result, outputs. So yeah, that should be that first one. Okay, so first I'm gonna let me invert the colors so that it matches what MiDaS outputs. So invert. Then what you can do is change the levels if you want. That's what I do it, but you don't have to. I just make sure that the closest stuff is at the closest stuff is pure white, and furthest thing is pure black. You don't have to. I just do it. And then what you can do is to sharpen the boundaries if you want. What I use is symmetric nearest neighbor. Okay, so now it's sharpened. So I'm just gonna put it under, and I'm just looking. So it looks pretty good, by the way. Okay, so I'm gonna do this for the other four, and then I'll do MiDaS. So when I'm back, I'm gonna be doing MiDaS. Oh, by the way, before I forget, something that you can always do with any depth map that may be important is to expand the light areas. So what you do is you go into generic and you do dilate. It's gonna expand the lighter areas, grow lighter areas of the image. So dilate. You see, it expanded the light areas by 1 pixel or 2 pixels. It is sometimes useful if the depth map, the object boundaries are not correctly rendered in the depth map, and you need to expand to make sure that the whatever is in the foreground, whatever should be in the foreground is actually in the foreground in the depth map. So it's important when you try to get like intermediate images, when you do lenticulars, or even when you try to do animations. So it's just a little trick. I'm gonna undo it. Okay, so let's look at what it does. Let's undo it. We see it shrinks. Okay, so I'm gonna do the other four for LeRes, and then I'll be back and I'll be in MiDaS. So I'll see you around. Okay, I'm back, and so this is the MiDaS. Google Colab. It says V2, but it's actually it runs V3 by default. So don't worry about it. Okay, so let's connect. Let's make sure it's GPU. And okay, so let me see. Whereas with MiDaS it's a bit different. So I'm gonna go into click on files here. You need to, you basically, the easiest way is probably to upload your picture, but you do it one by one. So let's upload the first one. I'm just going to do the first one to show you. So that's the first one. And then here you put, so this is your 2D image. So here you say, okay, so you click on that thing, the three dots here, you click on it, left click, and you say copy path, and then you go in this cell, and you just keep the file name. So you do this, Control V, boom. You get rid of this, and now you're ready to rock. Oh, there's something else you need to do. This cell. So let me see. If you want to save the depth map. I'll probably put that in the description, so don't worry about it. So you put it after this. Okay, so you're ready to run. So run time, run all, and here it goes. So I'll be back when it's done, because it takes I don't know, maybe a couple of minutes, 2-3 minutes. So I'll be right back. Okay, it's done. So now the depth map is here. So you still have to, if it doesn't show up, you just do refresh. So it's here. Then you left click on this and you download. So that's your depth map. Okay, so now let's go into the GIMP, and let me load it. So I have to load it separately because the size is not gonna be correct. So let's see. It's here. So okay, so the size is very small. So you first have to, okay, so let me, so the proper size is 1024 by 555. 1024 by 555. Sometimes it doesn't come 555. You might get 554, 553. So you may have to break the connection here between the two dimensions. But here it's fine. So you scale. Okay. So now let's switch to grayscale. Then, just like with LeRes, I'm just going to change the levels. Okay, and then filters, enhance, symmetric, nearest neighbor. Okay, so that's so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the other four for MiDaS, and then I'll be back and we can compare everything. So I'll be right back. Oh, I forgot to mention something before I forget. Instead of changing the mode from RGB, which is 3 channels, to grayscale, which is 1 channel, so instead of changing that to go from 3 channels to 1 channel, You could also go to colors and just desaturate. So I don't know which one is better, but any one of those should do. So desaturate, I would think, is fine. You can do it that way as well. Okay, so let me do that one as well. So I'm just gonna go to colors, levels. That way the thing remains a RGB image. It's not just one channel. Okay, so and then filters, enhance, symmetric, nearest neighbor. Okay, so I got one more to do, and then I'll compare everything. Okay, so I'm done getting all the depth maps. So now it's time to compare. So this is the first image from the fly. Okay, so let's look at LeRes. So this is LeRes. That looks very good. Of course, here it could be darker, but I mean you get good partitioning. Now let's look at MiDaS. So here on the chair, this is correct, but everything else is kind of wrong. But it's pretty close. I mean, here I think, but MiDaS is better at this. You see how darker it is in those holes. So it's a tough one. Which one is better here? I think I would do a draw on this one. So I'm gonna keep track of the scores. So I'm gonna do 1-1. So LeRes 1, MiDaS 1 after one image. We're gonna keep scores just for fun. Okay, so that's the first one. Yeah, MiDaS got it wrong also here. It's correct here, but not correct there. So, okay. Next one. So next one is the Jurassic Park one. So let's look LeRes first. This is LeRes. It looks pretty good. I mean, some areas are a little bit wrong, like here, like the space between the arm and the rest of the body, like here, also this. But you know, you cannot be too choosy on this. I mean, it's pretty good. So that's LeRes. Let's look at MiDaS. I like this is good in MiDaS that you got a nice hole here. I think I have an advantage MiDaS here. I think it's close, but I would give advantage MiDaS. So LeRes after two images. LeRes 1, MiDaS 2. Okay, let's look at the third one. That's from the movie Vibes with Cyndi Lauper. Okay, so that's a good scene. Lots of depth. Okay, so let's look at LeRes first. So this is LeRes. There's some shenanigans going on here, a little bit wrong. A bit wrong here, but it's not bad. It's not bad. Okay, so now let's look at MiDaS. So this is going to be MiDaS. Yeah, it's a bit wrong here. That guy is fine, but other than that, it's pretty good. So again, I'm gonna have to give the advantage to MiDaS on this one. So after 3 images, LeRes 1, MiDaS 3. Okay, let's move on. So this is from a movie called The Sentinel from 1977. That's early Goldblum. Well, let's see. So LeRes first. Okay, so the first thing you notice is this is wrong here. The tree branch or the tree trunk here. Okay, that's wrong. The camera, let's see. Yeah, the tripod, of course, he got it a little bit wrong, but no big deal. Other than that, it's pretty good. Yeah, here it should be a gradient all along here, but that's a tough one to get. Okay, so let's look at, but he got the hand pretty good. The hand is pretty good. Let's see what MiDaS does on this one. So that's going to be MiDaS. This is MiDaS. The hand is not the greatest, but I think there's too much probably depth difference between this and this. The tripod, yeah. The rest, yeah, there's something weird that here the pants should be at the same level as the rest of this guy. And other than that, yeah. So in this case, I don't know, maybe a draw. I don't know. No, I still think MiDaS has the edge here because he didn't get the error here. I'm still gonna give 1 to MiDaS. So LeRes 1 and MiDaS 4. Okay, so let's look at the last one. The last one is again from movie Vibes. Okay, so let's look at LeRes. Yeah, so there's a bit of a problem here, a little bit of depth disparity when there shouldn't be any, but it's not too bad. Anyway, all those problems can be easily fixed in. What I like about LeRes is that it's the background is pretty well rendered, so that's pretty good, I think. Yeah, he gets the wall here. Good. So let's look now at MiDaS. So this is MiDaS. Yeah, I think that arm should be a bit more in front. And here, what's happening? Let's see. Yeah, I mean, it's not wrong, so it's not bad. Yeah, this is a bit wrong here, this part of the table. Other than that, so this is MiDaS and this is LeRes. I'm gonna do a draw on this one because I like the fact that LeRes has a better background, I think. So I'm gonna do, so LeRes final score, LeRes 2, MiDaS 4. So I think what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna call depth player and see let's see how those two depth maps look like in real life. So let's do that. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back and I've loaded the 2D image, the screenshot, and the depth map. So this is LeRes first into depth player. And what I did is that choose file here, choose file, create model, and then I switch to point cloud. And so here you can have an idea of the 3D scene. I mean, you don't really have to do that. What you can do is that you can go into Facebook and load your image plus depth map and make a 3D photo. Just make it only make it only available to yourself. Only to me. I don't remember how you do it, but it's like private viewing, so you can post and you are the only one that can see it. And if you move the mouse, then you can see what's wrong. But also you can use depth player if you want. But here you can see, here you're gonna see more problems. So here, like Cindy's head is a little bit going backwards. This is too forward. This part of the jacket. Basically, you only need to focus on what's in the foreground. The rest, and you can see that the background is actually very good. Okay. So now I'm just gonna do. I'm gonna load the MiDaS one. Let's see if I can just. Let me see where it is. So MiDaS. This one, yes. So create model. Okay, so that's the MiDaS one. And yeah, you can see that it's much better. Okay. Okay, so I think I'm going to stop here. Well, thanks to our good friend Jeff Goldblum. I still think that MiDaS version 3 is better than LeRes. Now, I mean, LeRes might be better for architectural stuff, like I don't know. But me, I like to look at pictures of people. So to me, MiDaS still has the edge. What else I can say? Okay, there's also, you can try like boosting monocular depth, which does either LeRes or MiDaS using different resolutions. I've done videos about that, and I'm really not convinced about it. I still think that LeRes or MiDaS without boosting is better than LeRes or MiDaS with boosting. So in short, whenever I need to do a conversion to get a depth map from a 2D image, I always go to MiDaS version 3. And I just edit it in GIMP. I mean, it takes usually 5 minutes. And as I said before, what I do is that I usually make a private post as a 3D photo in Facebook, and it's very easy to see the problems, and you can fix that in a couple of iterations. So to me that's the way to go. The only thing that's missing still is how to get proper synthesized images once you have the image and the depth map. You can use like what's the name of it? 3D photo in painting. That works very well. The only problem with that is that if you do lenticulars and you want what's in front to be static, so that it's always in focus, that's a problem because 3D photo in painting has the background fixed, and what's moving is what's in the foreground, which is exactly what you don't want. So there's still an issue with getting those synthetic, I should have said, synthetic images once you have the your depth map. So I think that's still a problem, and I wish 3D photo in painting could fix the foreground and have the background move instead of the other way around. Anyway, that has nothing to do with LeRes and MiDaS, so I'm gonna stop here. So if you like this kind of video, please like, comment and subscribe. I'm really trying hard to get to 1,000 subscribers, and if you have suggestions, if you see stuff that looks interesting, let me know, and I'll look at it and see, maybe I'll make a video out of it. So until then, I'll see you around. Bye.